Hello everyone, welcome to Lighthouse Stamping with Lorraine. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Vancouver, Washington. Thank you for joining me today. Before we get started, the housekeeping notes, all the product I'm using, all the dimensions are listed below. There's a link to my online store if you wish to purchase any of these products. There's a link to our Facebook group. We'd love to have you join that. There's my email address if you have any questions. And finally, remember to like, share, and subscribe and help me grow in YouTube world. Today we're going to be playing with a suite called, and I can never remember the name of it, Floral Impressions. Now, Floral Impressions came out in May. I didn't get it in May. I got it in June. I got it during the special that is going on right now. And today is June 26th, so you only have 4 days left. Basically, if you buy a suite, you can get another suite at half price. And I went on and looked just before I filmed this, and I filmed this the day before. Some of the suites, the English version is gone, but the French version is still available. Now, like this one, yes, the sentiments are nice, but I could use sentiments from another set. But I really wanted the florals, the dies, and stuff. So if you're not opposed to buying the French set, buy that. Use words from another set, or use the French words. Sometimes they work very nice too. And get the suite. Now, you don't have to buy a whole suite to get another suite half price. You could do paper and ribbon, and you get half price off the lower one. So if whatever you purchase, let's say this was $50, I know this is low, this is $50, and the other suite was $50, you get $25 off the lowest. So if the other one was $40, you get $20 off. So we know the suites aren't that low, but that's how it works. So if you do have questions, email me. I'll be watching my email today in case you have problems in there. I understand there was a glitch, and if you were ordering a whole suite, you didn't want to order parts. So, but I understand that's been fixed. But if you run into problems, email me, and I will try to walk you through that if you're on my online store. So you have till the 30th to buy suites at buy one, get one and half off, which is a great deal. So since I've never played with this suite before, I thought I'd show you all the parts of it. So Impression Abloom, beautiful stamp set. Nice birds, but like I said, if this was not available, I would have gotten it in French. And I've already taken out what we're going to need. And these are all the dies that go with this. So you can make your own flowers, you can stamp flowers. Just a beautiful set. We're not going to be using any of these dies today, but that is that part. I'm sure we'll use those dies soon, but not today. Other parts of this suite are, well, this wants to come in first. We'll save the paper for last. These are foiled framed labels, ephemera pack, and this is part of the suite. And I believe there is 2 sheets of each design. So you got 3. I can't remember how many is in each one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And these are actually in layers, so you can use different layers on here. You see the layers? And these are all layers too. So you've got actually multiple layers that you can use for frames. So that's part of this suite. The other part of this suite is these are the Strawberry Slush and Pretty and Pink gems. You can tell I haven't used these yet because usually I do this so my gems don't fall out all over the place. And they're all sparkly. I hope you can see that sparkle. Looks like you can up in there. See them in the pinks there? Just gorgeous. And then there's the paper, which is beautiful. And of course, I got it upside down, but what can I say? So it's a beautiful stripe, some beautiful flowers. Nice pattern on that one. Sunflower. They're not sunflowers actually, but they're very pretty. They look more like marigolds to me. That's garden green. Some ferns and some eucalyptus there. That's cloud cover, by the way. And there's this sheet, which I think is gorgeous. Then there's this one that is like a rainbow going across. We're actually using this sheet today. And the colors in this paper, the whole suite, like I said, is called Floral Impressions. The colors in this is Crushed Curly, Darling Duckling, Fresh Freesia, Garden Green. If I had my glasses on, I could read it easier. There they go. Misty Moonlight, Old Olive, Peach Pie, Pecan Pie, Pool Party, Pretty in Pink, and Strawberry Slush. So beautiful colors in there. Like I said, this is the piece we're going to use. Now let me show you. I'm going to leave this out and show you what we're making. I'll actually lift it out for a second. We are making a mini slimline card. You're saying, what's a mini slimline card? That's the envelope of a slimline. And let me get you an envelope for a full-size card. I have some here. That's a full-size slimline card. So we're making a little one. And this is the card we're making. It's a very simple card. It says thanks and some beautiful flowers. Just a little thank you note to send to somebody. No extra postage needed. It's a standard envelope. I bought these at Fred Meyer's, AAK, Kroger's. Depending on where you live, it's Fred Meyer's or Kroger's, depending on the part of the country. I think I paid like $1.90 for it or something like that. It was on sales. You can buy them anywhere. And I'll hold that up so you can see the sizes. 3 5/8 by 6.5 inches. So that's the difference between a slimline and a mini slimline. And this is the one we're going to make. So let's get rid of that slimline envelope. I'll bring that piece of paper back in. So what I did was I cut a piece of, I went across here on this piece here, not this one, but another one. And I cut off a piece that was 3 1/4 across, right across there. And then I split it right at 6 inches. So there's just straight across 6 inches. So that's 6 inches by 3 1/4. And I took that piece right there. So obviously, since I did that piece, we're going to do this piece. So the colors are going to change a little bit. Same card, just a different, moved over from here to here. So, and yes, if you're all looking at that going, I don't recognize what that is, you should recognize it, because most of you probably have it in your stash. This is a retired punch. This is the Oval's retired punch. You could use anything on this card you want. You use the postage stamps. You could use the, just anything, any die. You don't even have to use a die. You could use a punch, circle punch, whatever you wanted. It doesn't have to say thanks. It could be say something else, but that's what we're doing. Now this one, I used the, this is from another suite, and I don't, oh, this is from the suite I showed you on Monday. This is from that suite there. So those are the gems that came out of that because they went with this blue. So perfect. So let's get started. We are going to do some stamping. So I'm going to bring the DSP because this is going to guide my stamping on this. And then we'll bring all the other pieces in a few minutes. I do need a piece of white cardstock and a scrap to do my label. And the piece of white cardstock is 6 1/8 by 3 3/8. And like I said, all the dimensions are going to be listed below. I also brought a scrap of white paper out with me too, because I haven't quite decided on colors yet. So, but I did pull out Crushed Curry, Strawberry Slush, Garden Green, Early Expresso, and Peach Pie. So let's do some experimenting. And I did forget to grab one other thing. I forgot my leaf. As I do need the leaf. So I've taken out, these are two-step stamping. I've taken out this set, this one, the insides. And I only want this part of the leaf, I decided, because it does what I want. I forgot to grab it. Overkill on block size, but that's okay. So first I want to make a flower that, I've left this here so I can look at it as a guide. I want to make one that is like this and one that is like this. So let's start with this strawberry one. So if I've taken, once we get it down, we'll put it down. This is the big one. And I decided earlier that doing the inside, or the outline was easier for me, and then do the inside portion. So I'm going to want this full strength. And like I said, I am still experimenting. I just pulled out colors I thought was going to work. So I want that one. And I think I'm going to want second generation. So we'll stamp that down there. Now this one, got to get it lined up right. This has got one that sticks out a little further. You can line that up just like that. So I think that's the color combination I'm going for. And I am going to go strictly, I'm not going to try to put the dark in this one. I'm just going to put the Crush Curry. I'm going to stamp off one time in the center and then do full strength with the dots. I think that will work very nice. So we're going to do that one first. This is what I do when I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to make. So I want to put that flower right down here. I'll put that one there. We know we want, where did I do with it a minute ago? I just had it here, didn't I? There it is. I set it away so I didn't put my hand in it. We're going to stamp off. And when you stamp off, make sure you're going on something that's flat and doesn't have an extra layer underneath of it. And like this one piece that goes off here. Like that. And then we'll put in the crushed curry. Stamp off once. And then we'll do the full strength for the center. Just like that. Okay. So I'm done with those two colors for the moment. All right, next I want to put in this peachy color. And I know it's this one, and we're going to use Early Expresso for the center. So this one I think I can do without testing. So what I need is, I decided I wanted it overlap, so I needed a mask. And I was actually in the living room doing this, and my masks were in the other room. And so I just fussy cut, stamped it on Post-it and fussy cut it. Now I'm not stamping over anything over here. I'm just wanting to cover this side right here. It's not sticky now, but it's enough to hold it. You don't, it could be a scrap of paper that you've cut out. It doesn't have to, unless you're gonna do lots and lots, then you want some adhesive. But I'm just doing a simple little overlay. So let's grab these and we're gonna do the outline again first. This one's easy to line up with the gap here. And I'm going to put this one overlapping just slightly. And that's Peach Pie. And then I'm going to take this one. I got my gap going this way. Make sure I'm not. And stamping off. And get it lined up. Now I'm going to leave that there for a few minutes because we're going to put some leaves in. But first I need to put my center, and I'm going to use Early Expresso. Now there's a tinier dot for this one. Like that, and then do full strength. I'm off just slightly, so I'll try to compensate with this piece, and I did. There's that. Now I want to put some leaves in. And if you want to get real elaborate, you could mask this one off and add more going across. I was trying to keep this one fairly simple. So there's our leaves. And you're going, but there's a big hole right there. How are you going to do that one? I'll show you in a minute. So now I'm going to shift this way just a little bit. It's got a little sticky to it. But I want to make sure I've covered up right in this area here. I'm off just slightly, so, because you're doing double stamping, so sometimes you're going to be a little off. And I want to put a green leaf right like that. So now it looks like the leaf is behind. And I want to put another little piece of leaf. Oop. This is the problem with it not being sticky. But it does work. And I'm going to show you a different way on the other side. And pull this back down this way, just slightly. So I can make that leaf pop out from behind there. Now I want to put a leaf over this way. That's not going to work. Another way you can do this, I want to put my leaf right in here. Oh, do I have my little Post-its? I do. You can use Post-its to cover up stuff too, if you don't want to make a whole mask. Especially if you're just making one card. So I know that I can go right like that. And because it's almost straight. And then I come in here and put my leaf in. Just like that. And that's the leaf for my card. All right, we're not quite done with that yet though. That's the inside, but we do need to do our envelope because we can't have a naked envelope. Peach or... I like that peach one. I think we're going to use the peach color again, but we're doing a different flower. This is the smaller flower here. I like the peach color, so we'll use it. And that's that peach right here in the strip. I just started looking at the flowers and picking out colors. And once again, I'm going to do the detailed first. So I just find it easier. Don't close that yet. Now, when you look at this, you're going to say, how does this line up? And you'll see on here, you get it moving just right. I got to get it to the right angle. You can actually see how it lines up just like that. It does line up. It just takes you a minute to look at it. I'm going to stamp off. Just like that. And then the inside, we are going to put in Early Expresso. Now this one takes the small one as the same as the last flower we just did. And yes, I do have 2 stamps on 1 block. This is how you conserve the amount of blocks you have. Oh, I didn't want to stamp off. Got so used to stamping off. There's that. But he needs some greenery badly. So I'm just going to stick in a little greenery here. So I'm going to grab 2 more Post-its and do the same thing as I did on the first one. I know I want a piece of greenery right there. Like I said, you don't have to make a full mask sometimes to do something. If you have straight enough edges. And I'm going to come down a little bit because it is rather small. And I think we better have at least 1 partial leaf over here. Let's take it off this side here. I know, it's just the envelope. He looks lopsided, doesn't he? Now I'll put one over here, so it doesn't look quite so lopsided. Oh, I'm trying to make it so pretty, and I got a little overcarried. But like I said, it's just the envelope. You know, it's pretty, but, you know, the postage office stamp... Well, the post office will do a lot worse than. I received a letter in the mail the other day. It was so mangled, it was like... I had to glue or tape the other piece back together so I could see what I was looking at. So, got all of our stamping done, so let's build this card. Oh, no, we didn't get all the stamping done. I was wrong. We forgot something very important. I'm looking at my colors here. What color do I want to make think I'm going to go Strawberry Slush for my saying, since I'm going to be using Strawberry Slush gems. And I'm just saying thanks. And I'm going to put it right in the middle of that card right there. So we can punch it. Get these out of my way. So there's this. We're going to punch that. This is our card base. This is Strawberry Slush. You're going to need a piece of paper that is, make sure I got this right, yeah, 6 1/4 by 7. The 7-inch side you're going to score at 3 1/2 and fold to give your card. It's pretty easy. And let's burnish that. Now let's go ahead and put the inside in. I know, the glue's around here somewhere. Now, you could make this smaller, make this the same. This is why I use glue. Because glue gives you a little more wiggle room. And I will be using glue at the beginning. You could make this the same size as your DSP and put another piece of Early Expresso inside. But I didn't want to make it too bulky. Now, this is a piece of Early Expresso that's 6 1/8 by 3 3/8. Like I said, all the dimensions are listed below. I'm going back to my glue, and I'm going to mount my DSP on that Early Expresso. I applaud everybody who uses that and has success using seal all the time. But I like having that extra wiggle room. Years ago, I used nothing but glue or tape. And then I found Tombow green glue, and I started using it, and I was like, I really like the fact I have a chance to move stuff around. Look at that Early Expresso with that. That's not a color listed on the back anyway. Like I said, I'm always telling you, look at other colors. The color on the back of this says pecan pie, which pecan would go very nicely with it. But so does Early Expresso. And then we'll light that up, make our little mini card. And I have another piece of Strawberry Slush here. And I'm just going to punch this out. Like I said, this is a retired punch. I'm sure many of you have the oval punch or an oval punch of some kind. Use what you have. Use dies, use other punches. This is one of my favorites, and I will continue to use it as long as I'm crafting. And sometimes you just want a simple label that has a tiny border on it, and this gives you that. And I'm going to go ahead and put my thanks on here. I have another label I like. It's even older than this one. I didn't bring that one out. I may eventually, but I get my little bowl since we're going to use dimensionals. If you didn't hear about the little bowl, you can watch last week's video or Monday's video and see about the little bowl. Put a couple of dimensionals there. This is my new attempt to keep dimensionals all and little pieces of paper all over off my desk. Okay, so I'm going to line this up and find dead center here, which is right about there. And looking top and bottom, looks pretty good. And then we're going to put some bling on this. Do I want the Strawberry Slush, or do I want the white or the dark? I think we're going to go with the dark on this one. Any of them would work. I'm not going with the big ones. I'm going to go with the small ones because we're just putting them on like little holders of our... And that is my card for today. I know I took a little longer explaining what I was doing and why I was doing the colors the way I was. But the sale is going to end on the 30th for if you want to buy whole sweets and get sweets half off. If you have questions about it, drop me an email. I'll be watching my email all day on Thursday to see if anybody has any questions. If they don't have it in English, consider buying it in French. And so you can get, if it's a word thing and you definitely don't want to do that. But the sweets, to get the paper and everything, sometimes you can sacrifice those few words that are in a sweet to get the rest of the sweet at half price. So you might want to consider that as well. So everybody have a wonderful day, and I will see you next week. Goodbye.